In the quiet city of Christchurch, New Zealand, the year 1954 began like any other. It was a place known for its calm streets, friendly neighborhoods, and a sense that nothing truly terrible could ever happen there. But beneath that peaceful surface, two teenage girls were forming a bond so intense that it would lead to one of the most shocking crimes in the country's history. Pauline Parker was 16 years old, introverted, often feeling out of place in her own home. Juliet Hume was 15, intelligent, imaginative, and recovering from health issues that had kept her isolated for much of her childhood. When the two met at school, their connection was instant. They weren't just classmates. They became inseparable. Everything in their lives seemed to revolve around each other. They wrote stories together, created entire imaginary worlds, and spent hours planning a future they believed they would share. To the adults around them, something about the friendship began to feel too intense, too consuming, and maybe even unhealthy. But the girls didn't care what anyone thought. To them, the relationship was perfect. Everything changed when Juliet's parents announced they were divorcing. Juliet was going to be sent overseas to live with relatives. Pauline could not accept it. Losing Juliet felt like losing the only person who truly understood her. The girls convinced themselves that the only thing preventing them from staying together was Pauline's mother, Honora. Her disapproval of their friendship grew stronger, and in the minds of the girls, she became the enemy. Their conversations took a darker turn, and together they drifted into a shared fantasy where removing Pauline's mother would solve everything. On a cold June afternoon, Pauline and Juliet invited Pauline's mother on a walk through Victoria Park. They talked and laughed, as if nothing unusual was happening. Hidden in Juliet's bag was a half-brick inside a stocking. The girls had planned exactly what they believed they needed to do. When they reached a secluded path, they carried out the plan they had rehearsed in whispers. When Honora fell, the girls attempted to claim it was an accident. But investigators quickly saw that the injuries did not match their story, and before long, both Pauline and Juliet confessed. The trial that followed captured the attention of the entire nation. People struggled to understand how two teenage girls, creative, intelligent, and outwardly ordinary, could commit a crime that seemed so deliberate. Psychiatrists debated whether their friendship had become an unhealthy obsession. Newspapers reported every detail, and the courtroom overflowed with people trying to witness the case that shattered Christchurch's peaceful image. Despite their age, both girls were found guilty. Because they were minors, they were spared the death penalty and instead received prison sentences. Each served about 5 years before being released, with strict conditions. They were given new identities and forbidden from ever seeing or contacting each other again. In the decades that followed, their lives took dramatically different paths. Juliet moved to the United Kingdom and eventually reinvented herself as a writer under the name Anne Perry, becoming known for her historical crime novels. Pauline lived a quiet life, far from attention, trying to leave the past behind. Both women, in separate interviews long after the crime, expressed deep remorse for the choices they made as teenagers. To this day, the Parker-Hulme case remains one of New Zealand's most haunting stories, a chilling reminder of how powerful and dangerous an unrestrained obsession can become, especially in the minds of the young. It is a case that continues to fascinate, disturb, and provoke questions that have no easy answers.